Ediciones Pedigree presenta Turf Mundial, con las mejores carreras del Grupo 1 en Estados Unidos, Inglaterra, Irlanda, Francia, Japón, Australia, Hong Kong y Sudamérica.
Sean bienvenidos a esta edición especial de Turf Mundial. Vamos a ofrecerles las 12 mejores carreras y los mejores caballos del mundo 2025 en una selección hecha por la World Horse Racing, que es una empresa internacional de medios digitales fundada y financiada por entidades de carreras más icónicas del mundo. Entre ellas son la Ryder Cup, The Hong Kong Jockey Club, Goodwood Race Horse y The Victoria Racing Cup. Veremos a los mejores: Ombudsman, Calandagan, que es el mejor caballo del mundo según Longines y la IFA, Oliver Young, el arco de Triomphe, Champion of State, que junto a la Japan Cup compartieron el título de también las mejores carreras del mundo, igualmente por la asociación de IFA y Longines. En fin, la crème del Tour Mundial. Damas y caballeros, a disfrutar de este maravilloso resumen.
Turf Mundial es una presentación de Aras Don Alberto, donde nuestro arte son los caballos.
Conquistamos 3 de los más importantes Grupo 1 en Estados Unidos con Journalism. Santa Anita Derby, Prix Stakes, segunda etapa de la Triple Corona, Haskell Stakes por $1 millón.
Aras Don Alberto, donde nuestro arte son los caballos.
Aras Carioca, criando campeones para Chile y el mundo desde 1992. Marcamos presencia clásica con El Egipcio por tercer año consecutivo, el clásico general Bernardo Higgins Riquelme Grupo 3 y totalizando más de 225 millones de pesos en premios. Only Good, clásico Mega, 1400 metros. Only Good, clásico Daniel J. Lyon Amenábar, 1600 metros. Aras Carioca, criando campeones para Chile y el mundo desde 1992. Aras Mosito Guapo, iniciador de un sueño, forjador de una realidad. Presentamos nuestro nuevo padrillo, Good Samaritan, cuya primera generación en nuestro campo nació el 2025. Ganador del Jim Dandy Stakes, Grupo 2, derrotando a Always Dreaming, ganador del Kentucky Derby y Florida Derby, y a Cloud Computing, ganador del Preakness Stakes. Obtuvo más de $1.300.000 en premios y ofrecemos servicios de monta temporada 2026. Tratar con raulcabezasremates.cl. Aras Mosito Guapo, iniciador de un sueño, forjador de una realidad. Fernando Sañartu Rosas y compañía agradece a propietarios y preparadores que adquirieron un fina sangre en los remates de nuestra empresa y les desea mucha suerte en el nuevo proceso generacional. Y también a los criadores que confiaron la comercialización de sus productos a través de nuestra empresa. A todos, grandes éxitos en la temporada 2026.
Ombudsman en el Prince of Wales State, Ascot. Sovereignty en el Belmont State, Saratoga. El mismo Ombudsman en el Juddmonte International, York. Calandagan en la Japan Cup, Tokio. Daryz en el Arco de Triunfo. Calandagan en el Champion State en Ascot.
They're off for the Prince of Wales Stakes over a mile and a quarter. Los Angeles, the maroon and blue silks, bustled up quite firmly by Ryan Moore to get a position early on. Meanwhile, Anmart, blue and white striped cap for Jim Crowley, drops in from a wideish draw. And the early back marker, Map of Stars, is dropped out with both he and Ombudsman a couple of lengths adrift of the principal runners as they head steadily towards Swinley Bottom, and Continuous establishing himself in the pacemaker's role and stalked by his stablemate and favourite Los Angeles. They race on by a couple of lengths. A Royal Champion in a yellow jacket stalking the leading pair as they begin the climb now towards the last 3/4 of a mile. The white face Factor Cheval is in 4th place with Anmart, the striped cap, racing wide of See the Fire in the light blue and purple. Ombudsman is last but one, a map of stars with the gold sleeves just at the tail of the field. They're still climbing towards halfway, continuous, setting a decent gallop here, leading by a length and a half to Los Angeles. Royal Champion remains in third, just over 2 lengths away to Facteur Cheval. The nose-banded fillies See the Fire on the inner of Anmart, and then Ombudsman and Map of Stars still quietly ridden in rear. They're inside the last half mile, beginning the turn for home now in the Prince of Wales's Stakes. Continuous, now being pressed by Los Angeles. Royal Champion in the yellow will turn in third, just ahead of Facteur Cheval on the right on straightening. See the Fire in the noseband, looking for a way through in behind. Anmart, yet to be popped the question, blue and white colours. Ombudsman in the royal blue trying to thread his way through. Here comes Map of Stars right down the outer. Facteur Cheval has moved through to take over, a furlong and a half to go. But here comes Anmart, who's now powered through. Ombudsman has been forced to switch, but is in the clear and beginning to close. A half furlong to go. Ombudsman now moving to Anmart, and it's Ombudsman who strikes on and begins to clear away. Ombudsman, a devastating winner.
And they're off in the Belmont Stakes. And as expected, Rodriguez bounces out very quickly. Uncaged has plenty of early interest, as does Crudo, who sprints up alongside Rodriguez. Journalism secures the fourth spot. Baeza's a little bit keen. He is in between horses and 4 lengths off the lead. Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty cruises up along the inside and is suddenly sharing the second position. Hill Road is second to last, and Heart of Honor is at the back of the field. 7 lengths covers them through an opening quarter that went in 23 and 2/5 seconds. And so the lead belongs to Rodriguez, who's in front by a half length. Crudo alongside second. Sovereignty galloping strongly right next to his rival Journalism. Journalism puts his head into third. Does that Preakness winner. A length and a half behind them comes Uncaged. Baeza is 5 or 6 lengths off the lead. Hill Road and Heart of Honor. They're heading toward the half-mile pole. Hall of Famer Mike Smith and Rodriguez carved out that half in 47 and 3/5 seconds. Crudo a length and a half behind him in second. Journalism in the clear, getting a good trip. Uncaged at the rails. Sovereignty in between those two is fifth now and 4 lengths off the lead. Baeza has asked for a bit more at this stage. He's hard-ridden, 6 lengths off the pace. Hill Road is trying to match strides with him. Heart of Honor has dropped out. 3/4 in 1:12 and 1. Journalism makes a decisive move with 1/4 mile to go, and he takes command of the Belmont Stakes. Sovereignty angles out to try and run him down. It's a rematch of the Kentucky Derby as they come to the 8th bull, and here comes Sovereignty. Sovereignty goes right by Journalism once again, leaving absolutely no doubt who the best 3-year-old in the world is. Sovereignty and Junior Alvarado in the Belmont Stakes. Journalism was second. Baeza finished third.
They are ready and they're off and racing for the Juddmonte International Group 1 of 2025. Burgh Castle on the outside alongside the white and red colours of Danon Dessal, who's just restrained leaving the stalls, and that allows Burgh Castle to come across to the inside rail and leads, and goes on now by about 3 lengths. Danon Dessal leads the main group, with Ombudsman behind him. On the inside then is Daryz under a little bit of a tight rein. Just behind him, Delacroix has settled beautifully into this, and alongside him is the filly, See the Fire. And Burgh Castle has opened up a lead of about 10 lengths then as they pass the 7 furlong marker over on the far side. We've seen this before. The main group, Danon Dessal, is in front, under restraint still, under a tight rein there from jockey Keita Tosaki. Ombudsman is on his outside, See the Fire next, and they've completely ignored the pacemaker here, Burgh Castle, who's going to be running down the side of the course, a good 20 lengths clear as they begin to approach, or he begins to approach the home straight. The other 5 runners, only separated by about 3 lengths, are 20 lengths behind him, and Burgh Castle turns into the home straight of the Juddmonte International with a very, very long lead. He's gone past the 4 marker, and he must still be 25 lengths clear in the hands of Rab Havlin. What the others up to at the moment, they need to get to work, because Ombudsman has not made a move just yet. Burkastle still in front. His lead is beginning to get chipped away now, though, as he comes down inside the final 2 furlongs here. Danon Dessau is now working to close with Ombudsman. Daryz on the rail, and then comes Delacroix, who's asked a few questions. On the outside is See the Fire. Still Burkastle. Can he pull off an incredible upset? He's in front, but Ombudsman is now beginning to chip into that lead and quickens past him in tremendous style. This is Ombudsman's Juddmonte, and he storms home to win highly impressively and wins by 4 lengths. Delacroix in second, Burkastle head on for third, See the Fire, Danon Dessau and Daryz.
Set, stand by. They're ready in the Japan Cup. They're off and racing, and the jockey on Maya Terror has dropped straight out of the barrier and will take obviously no part in the horse running free at the back of the tail. And going straight to the lead is Seun Hades, swooping across his Ho-Ho Biscuits, and up there is Quadanor. Shin Emperor's there as well. Tastiera's got across with a bit of cover. Inside it is on the inside Cosmo Coranda. Back in behind them is Danon Dessau getting a bit of a squeeze. Back to Deep Monster. Back in the ruck is Justin Palace. Masquerade Ball goes on with Calandagan, and that free running horse out wide at Maya Terror. Then Yoho Lake. Then Danon Beluga, Struve, and at the tail of the field, Breda Vague, the mare, leading out by 7 lengths at the moment. An unusual leader here in Seun Hades leads out from Ho-Ho Biscuits, and running third at the moment, Sunrise Earth, then Quadanor, followed by Shin Emperor. Then comes back in the ruck, midfield, Cosmo Coranda. Tastiera's settled well, as has Masquerade Ball. It's inside Deep Monster, Danon Dessau. That loose horses still going along with them on the outside of Masquerade Ball. Calandagan back in the last third of the field, but seems to be travelling sweetly. Then Danon Beluga, well back in the ruck at the moment. 3 wide is Justin Palace. It's inside Yoho Lake, then Struve, and Brady Vague still at the tail of the field. This one's coming back to them as they get to the 1,000-metre mark, and it still leads out by 8 lengths. And that's Seun Hades, but is really shortening stride. Running second, Ho-Ho Biscuits. Starting to take off Sunrise Earth, and that free runner is on the outside of them. Then comes Cosmo Coranda, followed by Quadanor, who's starting to click up. Then Shin Emperor, Deep Monster, well back Tastiera. Masquerade Ball with work to do. Calandagan's 3 wide going on with Danon Dessau, the inside. Danon Beluga well back in the run and under pressure at the moment. On the inside is Yoho Lake and Struve, and wider out starting to pick up at the moment Justin Palace. The 400-metre mark, they're shortening stride but running on now. Here comes Quadanor, and Calandagan is joining in. Big strides, Calandagan coming with Masquerade Ball. Masquerade Ball. Calandagan is head in front, but Masquerade Ball is kicking. Masquerade Ball the inside, Calandagan the outside. Head and head, bobbing to the line. They hit the line, and maybe Calandagan's won it from Masquerade Ball. Danon Dessau's third.
Le 400 mètres de l'année avec la favorite Mini Hawk qui a pris un très bon départ à la corde. Elle va être relayée peut-être à son extérieur par le japonais Aloui Ali qui est monté par Christophe Lemaire, alors que l'on retrouve en 3e position Qualificar, en 4e position Suzuki Sisana se rapproche à l'extérieur, le 14 Otazel devant Gesora, pendant que le 15 Croix du Nord est pour l'instant logé en épaisseur. Il y a à l'arrière-garde le numéro 3 How Regal, il y a les phares également, le numéro 1 Javeletto qui sont en retrait, et Byzantine Dream qui est en dernière position alors qu'il passe à l'instant derrière le petit bois.
Ils en ressortent à présent avec Otazel qui a l'avantage, le concurrent japonais Croix du Nord qui est venu se placer à son extérieur, encore plus à l'extérieur vient Los Angeles. Le Mini Hawk, la favorite de cette arc de triomphe, bénéficie pour le moment d'un bon parcours. Elle est 4e tout près des animateurs cachés côté corde avec Kissisana, Aventure qui viennent ensemble en 6-7e position. Daryz, Aloui Ali qui sont un petit peu plus loin avec le Campana qui galope à flanc de peloton. Suzy qui est patiente à l'arrière en compagnie de Qualificar qui est un petit peu cadencé. Les phares Gesora sont également à l'arrière-garde avec Byzantine Dream également.
Et les concurrents qui sont dans la descente de la grande piste, et c'est maintenant le japonais Croix du Nord qui est le meilleur devant Otazel qui est 2e. Los Angeles est 3e, Mineo qui est 4e devant Kissisana, pendant que Daryz vient à l'intérieur devant l'As Javeletto avec Aloui Ali accompagné en dehors par la favorite Aventure qui vient devant Calpana, devant Suzy accompagné par les phares, par Byzantine Dream, par Gesora, par White Birch le numéro 2 et par Arrow Eagle, alors qu'ils sont maintenant de droite.
Avec le Bras du Nord qui a l'avantage, Tazel à son intérieur, Minio qui vient en troisième position, Los Angeles est quatrième, sixième arrive, et Giacomo qui va ensuite côté corde avec le Daryz qui est en embuscade, en position de gendarme, ils ont une minute qui tente de venir côté corde, le Calpana, Aventure tente de progresser complètement à l'extérieur.
Et c'est la favorite maintenant, Minihawk qui est lancé au centre, Daryz à son tour qui progresse à l'extérieur, Calpana qui revient du terrain, Aventure est en quatrième position à 250 mètres minute, Minihawk a l'avantage avec Daryz de plus en plus fort, accompagné à la barre par Byzantine Dream, Minihawk avec Daryz, Daryz de plus en plus fort, qui part à l'intérieur, Daryz avec Minihawk, Minihawk avec Daryz, Daryz qui a la barre, on va peut-être triompher devant Minihawk, la France va
standing by for the Qipco Champion Stakes of 2025, and they're away. Almeric switched in behind early. Devil's Advocate kept very wide. Mount Kilimanjaro also going forward in the dark blue. The pack are headed by Fox Legacy, Delacroix and First Look. Then on the inside, Yellow Jacket Almecam as the pacemakers track across. Ombudsman is held up towards the back behind Calandagan, and then Economics on the inside. Prague is on the inside of Almeric. First Look in the red cap out wide as they go into Swinley Bottom, and it's Mount Kilimanjaro from Devil's Advocate. In third is Almecam, then Fox Legacy. They're followed then on the inside by Prague, and then First Look, and then Almeric on the inside. Economics just looked a little short of room perhaps around there. Delacroix just ahead of him now from Calandagan, and Ombudsman, who must be 12 lengths behind the leaders, is last of all. They're already heading towards the final 5 furlongs, and the 2 pacemakers are now set alight. Mount Kilimanjaro and Devil's Advocate. They go 5 lengths clear of Almecam in second. Prague is back in fourth, then Fox Legacy. First Look, a gap then to Almeric and then Delacroix, and then behind these is Calandagan. Also Economics on the inside, and Ombudsman still looking on from last place, and they're now beginning the turn into the home straight, and Devil's Advocate goes up past the second horse, Mount Kilimanjaro. 4 or 5 lengths then to Almecam in third. Prague, they're well strung out. Surely these leaders will stop quickly. Fox Legacy peeling out wide. Calandagan, also Ombudsman on the extreme right. Delacroix not getting a good run. First Look runs on well. They head now inside the final 2. Almecam, Calandagan picking up well with Ombudsman down the near side. These 2 going on. Delacroix's got 3 lengths to make up. It's up in front, Calandagan, a length and a half. Ombudsman trying to get him, but the French horse is remorseless. The King George winner, Calandagan, wins at Ascot in the Qipco Champion Stakes. One of the great horses in Europe. In second, Ombudsman, Almecam third, and Delacroix in fourth.
Turf Mundial es una presentación de
Aras Mocito Guapo, iniciador de un sueño, forjador de una realidad.
Aras Don Alberto, donde nuestro arte son los caballos.
Aras Carioca, criando campeones para Chile y el mundo desde 1992. Fernando Sañarturrosas y compañía, una empresa con más de 30 años en la comercialización del caballo fina sangre de carrera.
También veremos a Delacroix en el Irish Champion en Leopardstown. Ying Racing en la Hong Kong Sprint en Chatín. Forever Young en la Saudi Cup en Arabia Saudita. Hard Jewers en la Melbourne Cup en Flemington, Australia. Forever Young en la Leader Cup en Del Mar. Giga Quick en la Champion Spring en Flemington, Australia.
They're off. They begin over a mile to the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes of 25, and it is Shin Emperor who takes them along, being followed by Delacroix. Mount Kilimanjaro improves on the inside of the nose bandit, hot as hell as they race the end of the first furlong and a half. They're tracked by Zaran, Royal Champion on the outside of Anmath, and observing from the back of the field is the grey-white Birch. 7.5 furlongs to go, and moving on in front is Mount Kilimanjaro and Ronan Whelan. They take up a couple of lengths advantage, improving as Royal Champion Clifford Lee on the outside of Shin Emperor and UC Sakai, followed by Delacroix and Christophe Soumillon. Hot as hell, Shane Foley and Zaran Ben Cohn, followed by Anmath, Chris Hayes with the back marker, White Birch and Dylan Brown McMonigal. Heading towards the 5, marking the halfway stage in the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Champion Stakes. The leader by over 3 lengths is Mount Kilimanjaro. Second is Royal Champion, and third is Shin Emperor, and fourth is Hot as Hell. 2 lengths to Zaran, who's racing in company with Delacroix, and then comes Anmarth and White Birch. Racing inside the last half mile. Nudged along in front is Mount Kilimanjaro, but maintains a 3 lead over Royal Champion in second, and third last year's third Shin Emperor, then Hot as Hell. Nudged along is Zaran, then Delacroix, the purple and white with the last 2, less than 3 furlongs to go, Anmarth and White Birch. Coming round the home turn, 2.5 furlongs to go, and it is Mount Kilimanjaro with swooping to the front, Delacroix and Christophe Soumillon lead. Racing to the final furlong and a half. Anmarth into second, followed by White Birch. Royal Champion weakens. It's Delacroix and Anmarth. Gone on from Royal Champion. White Birch next, followed by Hot as Hell. Inside the final half furlong, it is Delacroix on his way to the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes. 13 of them for Aidan O'Brien. Anmarth second. Royal Champion, Hot as Hell. White Birch next.
Set for the sprint. Can he make it 16 in a row? Ying Rising, they're racing. He was beaten out by Wunderbar, but he's too fast off the inside. Cardam at the back was very slow out, and he's missed it by 6, and the jockey's lost his irons on Cardam. Ying Rising leads the way over Win Carnelian, going forward on his outside, and then Fast Network, who dropped onto the back of the favourite Beauty Waves and Wunderbar. It's a bunched first 5. Then Tomodachi Kokoro, followed by Satono Rave. Next Helios Express, Devano, Raging Blizzard. The centre, Lucky Swain S, and then came Lucky With You, and Cardam's tacking on, but O'Sheen Murphy's lost his irons at the start. It's Ying Rising, 4:50 to go on the sprint. Zach brings him 3 off the rail, and he has them all chasing. 3 lengths over Fast Network, Win Carnelian, then came Helios Express. It's Ying Rising, the crowd lifts, 2:50 to go. He's 3 lengths on Fast Network, and then came Helios Express. This is what we came to see. 16 in a row, the world's best sprinter. He is just unbeatable. Ying Rising has won the Longines Hong Kong Sprint for Fun. What a horse. What a win.
Best of Asia, the best of North America, the best of Europe, the Saudi Cup, $20 million, Richard Hoyles.
And they're away for the Saudi Cup, a little bit slow away, Ushbata Zoro. And early on it is Walk of Stars who moves forward. Romantic Warrior jumped well and just moves off the rail to get some clear daylight and avoid the kickback. Looking for Forever Young, who's broken well and is right across the field as well. Al Musmak is racing in a handy position with Defunded through the first 200. They're being followed by Ramjet, and also there is Wait to Excel. As last year, Ushbata Zoro's the one off the back end. Also towards the back at this stage is Rattle and Roll, well behind as they make their way through the first 400 metres. Forever Young in the maroon colours, but it's Al Musmak towards the outside with Defunded, and right there on the running rails, Walk of Stars. Romantic Warrior tracks them in 5th place, Pale Blue, racing on the inside of Wait to Excel, then Ramjet wider out to the white cap of El Código. Factor Cheval is at the back of that leading group on the outside of Wilson Tesoro. Then behind those is Intense For Me, still a gap back to Wood and Sun. Rattle and Roll well back, and Ushbata Zoro as Romantic Warrior moves off the running rail as they approach the bend. So out in the lead, Forever Young on the outside, disputing it with Walk of Stars. Right round the outside, Romantic Warrior will be 5 wide into the turn, but he's poised under James McDonald as the big 2 move through. Forever Young, Romantic Warrior sweeps up on the outside for Hong Kong. They lock horns, and it's Romantic Warrior who finds most initially from Forever Young in second place. The 2 of them are clear from Wilson Tesoro and Factor Cheval, 2 of the great racehorses in the world. And at the moment, Romantic Warrior holds sway. His rider looks across. Forever Young is trying to close, and he's beginning to do so. Romantic Warrior from the outside. Forever Young has got to within 3 parts of a length. Romantic Warrior, Forever Young, a race for the ages, and Forever Young rounds off a terrific night for Japan, runs down Romantic Warrior and breaks Hong Kong hearts.
Stand by for a start. The Lexus Melbourne Cup of 2025. The great race about to get underway, and they're racing in the Melbourne Cup. River of Stars jumped away pretty quickly. Speed from Arapaho, Smoke and Romans. Vauban's tucking in behind them. Half Yours is nice and close. Changing of the guard, using plenty of the track on the outside to sweep over. Arapaho is the leader. From Smoke and Romans, the inside. River of Stars right behind them. Torrenzino, Goody Two Shoes, and changing of the guard out in the middle of the track, taking its time to come over. Then came Torrenzino. Further back is Half Yours, who's about 8th or 9th in the early stages. One Smooth Operator and Maidan. Land Legend in a pack, and then came Valiant King, Presage Nocturne. Not that much speed on here as they saunter past the 200 metres on the first occasion. Back in the pack now on the rails is Vauban, followed by Absurd, Buckaroo, Athabascan, Parchment Party, further Chevalier Rose, El Riffa, More Felons, and Flatten the Curve is last at the post. So the leader is Smoke and Romans, with on the outside now Royal Supremacy going up to just about dispute the lead. Changing of the guard, got across from that outside alley, third one off the fence. Next on the rails, Arapaho. They were followed by Goody Two Shoes, and next on the rails, River of Stars. A length and a half to Torrenzino, then Maidan. Further back is Middle Earth, One Smooth Operator. 2,000 metres to go. Next in the race is Land Legend, 3 wide. In between horses, Half Yours in the middle of the pack. A length and a half, Valiant King. Presage Nocturne is next, the grey. Followed then by Vauban. A length away in the field is Buckaroo, who is on the back of Valiant King. Next, Athabascan on the inside. Then came Absurd, Parchment Party, Chevalier Rose, the inner. Well back in the field is further El Riffa. More Felons is second last, and Flatten the Curve is last in the Melbourne Cup. 1,400 metres to go, and Land Legend now took it up and has raced clear about 4 lengths in front to try and turn this into a staying contest. Land Legend 4 or 5 lengths the leader. From in second, Royal Supremacy, and they're 2.5 lengths in front of Changing of the Guard and also Smoke and Romans. 2 for the back, Goody Two Shoes, Arapaho as Land Legends now 8 or 9 lengths in front. River of Stars is about 7th, the inside of Torrenzino. A couple of lengths to Maidan, and then came Middle Earth as they reached the 1,000 marker. Next in the field, Valiant King a little wide from One Smooth Operator, and Half Yours, the favourite, is 25 off the leader. Then Buckaroo, Presage Nocturne, Vauban, Absurd, Athabascan, well back further, Chevalier Rose, Parchment Party, El Riffa, More Felons, and well back in the field towards the home corner. Flatten the Curve has got a lot to do. So it's Land Legend, 600 metres to go. A runaway leader, 6 or 7 lengths in front. From in second, Royal Supremacy. They were followed by Changing of the Guard, Arapaho under pressure, Goody Two Shoes presenting up the middle. They were followed by River of Stars, who battles on. Torrenzino and Middle Earth right down the outside. 300 metres to go. Goody Two Shoes for Ireland, led by a length and a quarter. Middle Earth and Half Yours is getting through. Goody Two Shoes with Half Yours challenging at the clock tower. Half Yours takes the lead from Goody Two Shoes. Middle Earth, River of Stars. Half Yours is coming clear for JB Carr for the Cups double. Half Yours, the history maker, won the Lexus Melbourne Cup by 3 lengths. Half Yours the winner.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Baeza was off to a slow beginning. Fierceness goes out to the early lead and runs straight today and straight to the front. Contrary Thinking now moves up alongside of him, and Contrary Thinking will take the lead. Forever Young is close. He's right there on the outside, and Fierceness is down toward the rail. Then comes Mind Frame and Antiquarian. Journalism is guided inside by Jose Ortiz. Nevada Beach is along the rail. Baeza is second last, leading only last year's winner Sierra Leone. Has the opening quarter mile in 23.04 seconds. So Contrary Thinking out there doing his job. He's in front by 2 lengths. Ever Young on the outside of Fierceness, second and third. Break of 2 to Nevada Beach, who's down toward the rail. Mind Frame on the far outside. Journalism between those two, just 4 from the front. And Antiquarian, and it's 3 back to Sierra Leone and Baeza. 45.97 was the half mile. With 5 furlongs to run, Contrary Thinking leads the field up the Breeders' Cup Classic in front by a half a length, with Forever Young right alongside. Mind Frame just to the outside of them, makes it 3 in a line. Fierceness just in behind with Journalism to his outside. Then Nevada Beach, Baeza, Sierra Leone between them, and Antiquarian is the trailer. Around the far turn, Forever Young pokes his head in front. Mind Frame and now Journalism confronts them. As Contrary Thinking drops back, Baeza is 4 wide. Fierceness in behind horses. Sierra Leone is right in contention too as they make their way to the top of the stretch. And they're into the stretch in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And Forever Young turns for home with the lead. Journalism is second. Sierra Leone, Fierceness, one off the rail. Still Forever Young to catch. Fierceness is coming. Sierra Leone and Journalism, they're coming to the finish. And it is Forever Young. Celebrate Japan! They won the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sierra Leone was second. Fierceness was third in a final time of 2 minutes. 0.19 seconds.
The field is set, ready, and they're racing. And beginning well was Tropicus in the centre of the line, with also the outside Jeddabil showing some speed. Benedetta's about 2 lengths off those early. Flying for Fun is also driving up on the inside to sit a couple of lengths off the leader. So the leader is Tropicus with a bit of an arrowhead up the middle of the field, leading by 2 lengths to in second place Jolly Star, Flying for Fun, Jeddabil. Giga Kickers behind those horses. Then Libertad Cabela's second last in the race is Magic Time with Benedetta at the tail of the field. And gradually the entire field coming up towards the outside fence. At the 600 metres, Tropicus in front 3/4. 2 in second, Jolly Star. Wider is Jeddabil. Behind them, Flying for Fun, Cabela's. Then came Libertad, who's trying to stoke into the race. Giga Kick waited with Magic Time behind them, and Benedetta trying to wind up. It's the widest of all as they reach the 250. Jolly Star lets down Magic Time, and Giga Kick coming through. Libertad scrapping away, and Benedetta the outside of the clock tower, taking the lead. Magic Time with Giga Kick. Magic Time and Giga Kick. Magic Time draws ahead in front. Giga Kick won't give in. Digs in for the fight and wins. Giga Kick has won it. Zara again. Magic Time second. Jolly Star third. And then came Libertad, Benedetta, Tropicus.
Agradeciendo sus visitas y comentarios por nuestra 7ª temporada, los invitamos a que nos sigan por YouTube en Brasil, por Jornal do Turf, Turf nas Cidades, Turf ao Vivo, hiponews.com.br y TAR TV. También por Sello de Raza, A Todo Galope y en informativohípico.net en Perú. Hasta la próxima edición.
Turf Mundial es una presentación de Aras Don Alberto, donde nuestro arte son los caballos.
Conquistamos 3 de los más importantes Grupo 1 en Estados Unidos con Journalism. Santa Anita Derby. Preakness Stakes, segunda etapa de la Triple Corona. Haskell Stakes por $1 millón.
Aras Don Alberto, donde nuestro arte son los caballos.
Aras Carioca, criando campeones para Chile y el mundo desde 1992. Marcamos presencia clásica con El Egipcio por 3er año consecutivo, el clásico general Bernardo Higgins, Riquelme Grupo 3 y totalizando más de 225 millones de pesos en premios. Hollywood, clásico Mega, 1400 metros. Hollywood, clásico Daniel J. Lyon Amenábar, 1600 metros. Aras Carioca, criando campeones para Chile y el mundo desde 1992. Aras Mosito Guapo, iniciador de un sueño, forjador de una realidad. Presentamos nuestro nuevo padrillo, Good Samaritan, cuya primera generación en nuestro campo nació el 2025. Ganador del Jim Dandy Stakes, Grupo 2, derrotando a Always Dreaming, ganador del Kentucky Derby y Florida Derby, y a Cloud Computing, ganador del Preakness Stakes. Obtuvo más de $1.300.000 en premios y ofrecemos servicios de monta temporada 2026. Tratar con raulcabezasremates.cl. Aras Mosito Guapo, iniciador de un sueño, forjador de una realidad. Fernando Sañarturrosas y compañía agradece a propietarios y preparadores que adquirieron un fina sangre en los remates de nuestra empresa y les desea mucha suerte en el nuevo proceso generacional. Y también a los criadores que confiaron la comercialización de sus productos a través de nuestra empresa. A todos, grandes éxitos en la temporada 2026.